What's up, bros? This is the long-awaited analyzing series where I take one of my friends' gameplays, break it down, see what they did right, see what they did wrong, and then give them a general report card based on my experiences playing with them at the end. So my first one is going to be John Chris. He's probably the best gamer I know. You're probably going to hear me call him Stilts and Stickman and a bunch of other stuff. Just know that I'm probably talking about him. So this is going to be obviously very much about the gameplay, so if you don't like that, you probably aren't going to enjoy this video, but you know, if you're a fan of the TWIF series and you like to hear me analyze stuff, then you'll probably like this. And you don't even have to like fantasy football, so that's the best part. So John Chris, he's using the ACR right here. This weapon is a good choice for him because it really highlights his good aim and his twitch. You'll notice this with a lot of the games I analyze, but he's almost right on with the shot. It's right there. He over predicts and kind of lets a guy rush him when he's not expecting it. Now, notice as soon as I say he has good aim, he misfires and then zombie flicks a guy. But just hang in there, you'll see what I mean once he heats up. This is a gameplay I found in his file share. It was very early on in the game, so that kind of clears up why he's using a no attachment ACR. So John Chris he's gotten killed a couple times and he's gotten his UAV a couple of times, but he's about to open a can of whoop ass on these kids. He puts about 5 shots in that guy, it doesn't kill him, so he has to shoot him a couple times more. He's moving around the map in such a way where he is catching people from the sides, and that's what you want to try to do. Notice whenever he suspects that someone is going to be coming out of a certain spot, he does a good job of setting up, which is the act of aiming down sight and getting ready for the collision or engagement or whatever you want to call it. And he picks up one of his last deaths there. He just gets caught kind of with his pants down. I didn't even see that guy, that camper, but he drills him. This guy's rushing up in, trying to get into the vacant building. He's not going to let him. He kills him. Now right here, he knows that they're spawning in that bunker, so he comes around the corner, aim down sight, and after he kills the first guy, he suspects that there's going to be multiple guys. So instead of after killing him, he doesn't immediately sprint, which is smart. He gets ready, and then he's able to hip fire the guy that comes up next to him. And then after he hip fires the guy that comes up next to him, he's still ready, and then he just shoots the guy by aiming down sight that spawns at the bottom of the stairs. So he picks up a bitchy kill there, which is always impressive. Drops his attack helicopter and he's trying to work his way up to the AC-130. Now he almost dies right there, getting a little over aggressive, but his good aim manages to pick him up that kill on the guy running down from Humvees. He kills a guy that was attempting to clip him over that cement block. He has one to go to the AC-130, and he kills a guy in bottom dome to pick up the Angel of Death. So, while he rains down hell on these kids as they hide inside, I'd like to point out a few things that John Chris did really well there. He was always prepared for an engagement. He was aiming down sight when he needed to. He was moving well, strafing as though he was playing Quake, which is always smart. And one of his deaths is going to come from a self-kill here as he's trying to hit this guy out of the vacant building in his AC. Anyway, he just does a very good job of maneuvering the map, and obviously one of the key things you want to keep in mind while playing an FPS is you want to keep as much of your body on cover as you can. And I notice John Chris doesn't do this a ton compared to some people, but he does a good job of limiting the areas. He does a good job of limiting the directions he can get shot, although he doesn't clip. If John Chris clipped a little bit more, he's probably the best player in the world, honestly. But you can see many of his engagements are head up and one-on-one, and he just has better gun skill than the guy and better accuracy, and he's winning. But one thing he can improve on is clipping a little bit more. But he is maneuvering the map in a very smart way. He's minding the choke points. He's catching people from the side, which I'm sure all this is becoming a little bit repetitive, but it's things to keep in mind. When you watch a good player, you want to repeat the things they do right and focus on what they're doing well and why they're having success. So right here, he sees that his teammate goes down, and he doesn't absolutely clip the guy, but he hits him from the side. And like I said, if you're hitting people from the side, they can't really help it. So that's just another thing he's doing good. He's using what Wings of Redemption would call a ground clip right there, and that is the act of using a staircase or a divot in the ground as a point of cover. People usually just use clipping spots like tanks or barrels, but using a ground clip, that sounds like such a ridiculous term. Using a ground clip can be very useful because you can catch people off guard like that. He gets a ninja defuse somehow. I don't know how that works. He's moving around a vacant building here. He catches a guy either calling in a kill streak or with his pants down. There's the kill streak guy. To pick up his second AC-130. And spoilers, this AC-130 is going to finish the game. And that's John Chris in a nutshell. He moves around the map very, very effectively. He has superb accuracy. The guy's an absolute monster. Now, while he's in this AC-130, I'm going to go into my categories and start rating him because the gameplay's basically over. The first category is map navigation, and I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Because although he maneuvers the map very well and mines choke points and catches people off guard, all those things I mentioned, he would benefit from a little more just straight up clipping, just using cover a little bit better in 1v1 engagements. General smarts is my next category. That's just reloading and traffic patterns. When I mean reloading at the right time, not just blindly reloading after every kill. That's a 10. That's something John Chris does very, very well. He uses his gun to the best of its ability, and he doesn't get stupid deaths, which is important. Objective play, that's not applicable in this gameplay because he was playing Team Deathmatch. Communication, I've played with John Chris. He communicates a little and doesn't get frustrated, and he's a good team leader, but as far as call-outs go, he's not the best, so I'm going to give him a 7 on that one. Gun skill is the next category. That's a good 9 or 8 out of 10. I'm going to say 8.5 because it's not perfect, but his shot is on very, very good. And I notice when I play with him that he's good at any shooter he picks up basically, and that has a lot to do with just general shot and how accurate it is. And then the X factor is my final category, and that's if you pick him up in a lobby, if you play with John Chris, what are the chances that you're going to win every game? What's that intangible of is this guy such a beast that he's going to completely be able to carry me? And I'd say that's a 9 out of 10. When John Chris and I would play Black Ops, he would go massive KDR spreads, outscore me every game, use the right kill streaks, play smart, play generous. He's a great guy, great player. Enjoyed dissecting his gameplay. It's been Filthstepin, and this is the Analyzing series. I'm out.